It's real. This is not a drill. This is not a joke. Carpetless is real. People are doing it, and they're doing it consistently. And it's just a matter of time until a 120-star world record comes out with Carpetless. It's crazy to even be saying that. Before we do a deep dive on this setup, let me explain how we got here. The carpet ride in Mario 64 is the only auto-scroller in the game that we haven't been able to find some kind of skip or shortcut for. There's a fair amount of elevator rides in the game. However, we've been able to bypass pretty much all of them, except for this really long one in Rainbow Ride. You gotta ride this carpet all the way up through this big house, past these platforms, down into the house again, and up through the air, and it takes a long time. Let's talk about how we got to having a carpetless setup viable for humans. The idea of getting to the big house in the sky has been a thing in TAS since about 2009, using things like hyperspeed wall kicks, to eventually evolving it to using BLJs and parallel universes. TASers haven't really had a problem getting this star for a very long time, and they've done it in many different ways. However, on January 30th of 2013, Snark122 posted a video demonstrating carpetless using a bomb. This sparked a lot of discussion in the community, created a lot of comedians who thought it would be really funny to go into chats and spam do carpetless, not really grasping the fact that it is nearly impossible to do. Years later, players had messed around with the carpetless setup with the bomb. Players like Snowman and ToadFan5 were able to do it using save states.
We did it! Yes! Woohoo!
But of course, you know, save states, not really useful for anything other than just showing a possibility, proof of concept maybe. It wouldn't happen until May 3rd, 2019 when Zaya was able to do this setup, save stateless from the start of the level, nabbing an incredible single-star world record for the big house in the sky. You go to the cruiser, grab this bomb, re-grab it like how you would for bomb clip or pillarless. You want to get the hands-free glitch, meaning you need to drop the bomb and then re-grab it again, which lets Mario do things like ground pounding while still getting pushed back from the bomb. Perfectly do this triple jump and ground pound back towards this warp. Once you warp, you are now hands-free and able to do other things like side flipping while still getting pushed back. You have to get up on this blue platform, then this other one, and do these two incredibly precise wall kicks while holding precise angles, ground pounding, and then you're up. In theory, if someone hit this in a run, it would save a lot of time, probably around 50 seconds, 45 seconds, you know, enough to shatter the world record. It prompted many memes when Zaya did this. After it was shown that a human could do it, that's when people really kicked up the humor and really started, you know, posting about carpetless, but 99% of people understood that this was still never gonna happen in a run. Fast forward to now, 4 years after Zaya's save stateless carpetless. Two things happened on September 17th, 2023. Parsi, a top Japanese player, has been grinding carpetless a ton and actually hit it in a 120 run. Granted, it took him about 10 minutes of fucking around in Rainbow Ride before it happened, but it happened. The same day, a setup that was inspired by an idea of getting carpetless using these glitchy wall kicks from this window had emerged. Interestingly, this idea was actually introduced 14 years ago. However, it was a failed attempt and they weren't able to actually get on top of the house from the wall kicks, but they went for it, which I thought was kind of crazy that it's that old and that idea was still there and it didn't happen until now. This strat previously was deemed to be TAS only. No human had been able to do it, save stateless or not, but Critholith was able to come up with something that worked. Now, the setup that Critholith posted is insane. Critholith was able to find a way in which you're able to hold right after the second glitchy wall kick and just walk and kick up the slope, essentially making it free once you are up there. And to get to that point, well, strap yourself in, take a seat, because this setup is insane and it looks like something straight out of Ocarina of Time. So, you get up to this window, then you have to ledge grab, tap exactly right, punch, do a backflip. Then from here, you need to very precisely hold the Z button and have Mario crawl in almost a full circle, stopping him right before he completes the circle. After this, you then crawl again 2 frames to the left. And if you did it right, you should end up looking at the perfect angle. From here, you do a punch, you have to do a standing kick, start holding up and do a double jump for exactly 3 frames. While still holding up, you need to get a first frame triple jump, meaning you tap A as soon as Mario possibly can for the triple jump. From here, you need to hit a first frame wall kick, meaning you press A as soon as you possibly can on the wall. And then after this is when things get weird. So after this first wall kick, you pause. And never in my life would I ever have thought that pause buffering would become a part of Mario runs, but here we are. You pause and buffer and switch the input in order to get a frame perfect angle change, because these glitchy wall kicks, especially the second one, is extremely precise. So you're holding up from this wall kick, and once you get to the perfect spot, you need to start holding exactly down right. And I mean exactly down right. I messed with this setup for hours, and if my values were even off by 1, it didn't work, which I don't even know how to illustrate it. It is insane how precise this down right angle was. And not only was it so precise that you wouldn't be able to even tell whether or not you have it without looking at an input display and a value display, which runners were already kind of getting a little bit upset about. You know, there was already starting to be discussion in the community of whether this should be allowed or not. Until you hit the wall, then you can start holding right. At that point, it's pretty lenient, and you got it. You're up. I was able to hit this. In fact, I was able to hit this without using save states within a few hours of practicing. Is that world record? Is that fucking world record? 41! Like a fucking demon that I am, bro! However, it still felt extremely tight, and it also felt kind of weird thinking that I would maybe have to get an input display that tells me my values. It just kind of felt wrong. It felt weird. gleasn, the prodigal Mario 64 speedrunner, had stated that he wasn't even interested in doing 120 star anymore because of how stupid this new setup was, knowing that yes, people could get it in a run, but it was just very annoying, and it felt like it didn't match up with the values of Mario 64 speedrunning and the community or whatever. You know, it's all opinions, okay? At the end of the day, I feel where he's coming from. I thought it was kind of dumb. I thought that, you know, should the world record rely on a stupid trick like this? I don't know. But before we even had time to think, Carpetless came back with a new setup that could work on any controller. Orthogonal Jones. Orthogonal Jones is a carpetless setup that only uses cardinal directions, meaning you're either holding neutral, straight up, straight down, straight left, or straight right. It's a faster setup than the previous one, which was already able to save about 45 to 50 seconds. Executing this setup perfectly could save nearly a minute. This setup was able to cut out a lot of the bullshit from the old setup. It's faster and it's more consistent. Able to cut out the entire full rotational turn with the crawling, which a lot of runners, myself included, were struggling with. It starts off with that same ledge grab, except you turn right, kick, then you can just do 2 left turns with the crawl, punch, and now you're in that same spot. Now, instead of getting a first frame wall kick, you need to go for a 4th frame wall kick. Once you have the 4th frame wall kick, you have to advance until you hit this frame, at which point you start holding down until you get to this frame. Then you start holding right, and if you did everything right at this point, once you press A again, you should be able to wall kick up to the castle and get on top of the house. Now this setup, a lot of runners started messing with and found a lot more consistency with, myself included. However, the fact that you need a 4th frame wall kick and 2 perfect pause buffers is kind of scary, because pause buffers in this game are not like Ocarina of Time, where in Ocarina of Time you can keep pausing and unpausing and pausing and unpausing, you'll stay on the same frame. In Mario, every time you unpause, you are advancing at least a frame. So to get these frame perfect pauses is extremely difficult, and on top of that, you need exactly a 4th frame wall kick to make it work. However, the fact that you only need to hold straight up, straight down, and straight right made it far easier to replicate, and so runners got to work. gleasn was hitting it 2 times in a row save stateless. I hit it 2 times in a row save stateless. Oh, that's it! That's it! Yes! Without any save states. And today, as I record this, earlier today, Carpetless came out with the Orthogonal Jones Dictionary. This is dank, okay? I'm gonna warn you, it's a little dank. It is essentially an entire guidebook to every possible way that you can get carpetless using this setup. Whether you got a 1st frame wall kick, a 2nd frame wall kick, 3rd, 4th, 5th, if you know which wall kick you got and you're able to do frame perfect pausing, then you can get carpetless every time. Now that's a big if, and the more pauses that you have to hit, the harder it gets. And so some of these new setups require upwards of 5 different angle switches, which are frame perfect while you're in the air going towards the second glitchy wall kick. They look something like so it's just like up, neutral, left, down, right. The B's stand for bonks, which if there's 2 B frames, that means on the 3rd frame you hit A, which means it's a 3rd frame wall kick. 3 B frames is a 4th frame, and 4 B frames is a 5th frame. We were doing the 4th frame wall kick with 2 angle switches, but looking through this dictionary, you can find tons of different setups. Not that we need to go in the nitty gritty. The point is carpetless. It's happening. It's surreal. You're going to see a new world record sometime soon using this strat. It's kind of a race to see who can get a solid run with this first. I've been grinding it a ton. I've probably in the past 2 days, I've put almost 20 hours into this trick. My consistency's decent, but I still need to practice more. You know, the future of 120 star, at least right now, is very interesting because what this means is runs that normally would be maybe reset upstairs somewhere or a little before upstairs in a place like DDD 100 or something. You can keep them going now. You can try carpetless. It is at the end of the run. I still think most runners will do it at the end of the run. I think that's smart because imagine you do it early in the run, then you just have the nerves of hitting carpetless the whole run. Also, there's no good route that does Rainbow Ride early. So chances are you're still gonna be seeing Rainbow Ride done as one of the last stages. It's gonna be hype as hell when someone hits it, and it's going to be sad as fuck when they miss it. That's the state of the game right now. And I don't know where it's gonna go. All I know is that we're gonna see some crazy times coming out. A 136, maybe by the end of the year, I don't know. And honestly, maybe by the time this video gets posted, there's a new setup or something even easier. I don't know. I'm sure there's a lot of people working on it right now, but it's a weird one for sure. And it's still crazy that this is even a video, that this is even a real thing. After all these years, the final barrier of Mario 64 120 star is being broken. That's really all I got to say about it. There'll probably be some update videos coming, I don't know. But yeah, thanks for watching. Come tune into my Twitch stream. I've been streaming lots of Mario, going to be doing lots of runs with carpetless attempts very soon here as I get better at it. And yeah, thanks for watching. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. And hey, if you got some spare time, maybe go try carpetless because you might be able to do it. Peace out. Bye.